Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a while, but we have an episode of benching to get through, of course. Got a lot to talk about. Got cool things that have happened and cool things that are coming up, and I'm really excited to talk to you about it here tonight. So, thanks for joining me here again for an episode of benching and bullshitting. So, again, after I'm done talking, kind of giving my 2 cents on a few things and talking about all the things that have happened, I'll get into the chat box and we can start answering some questions. But for the meantime, what we got going on? So we haven't gone live since before the Arnold Classic, and the Arnold Classic is long done and over with, and now we're moving on to better things. But the Arnold was cool, man. Didn't quite go according to plan, competitively speaking, but everything else was cool. For the first time in Anderson Powerlifting's history as a company, we made profit at the Arnold this year. It was a profitable Arnold. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So with that in mind, I'm sure everybody's seen the videos. If you follow me, if you're on my Patreon or YouTube or anything like that, the meet was semi-successful. I didn't win first place because I missed my opener. 15 out of the 17 competitors missed their openers in a situation where the idea is to get all 3 attempts. You're supposed to be consistent. That was odd. Something was, I don't know, something was going on. I don't like to be negative or make excuses, and here I am trying to make an excuse. No, the only thing I noticed that could have potentially been an issue, and this is on the rogue stage. It was nobody's fault, and I didn't even really think about it till after the meet. But the one thing I noticed that probably would not be conducive for lifting really heavy weights was the entire stage was covered in those gray puzzle piece like foam mats you can buy at like a sporting goods store or something, like line your floors. So our base layer on top of this stage was a foam layer of these puzzle piece mats. So that's the only thing I can think of that may have been throwing people off. Because again, in a situation where it's very who of everybody to get all 3 attempts, open with something you can actually do and open with that's relatively light. For 15 out of 70 people to miss their opener, that's a little odd. So, but it's all done and over with. You can't go backwards in this reality. So we are moving on. And so the Arnold was cool. Got to see a bunch of people, sign a bunch of stuff. I got to have some really positive interactions. And if I met you, good to meet you. If I didn't, maybe next year. And then we got home from the Arnold. We had a little bit of car trouble that got fixed very quick. Whole bunch of car trouble that was caused by one small thing. I thought it was fuel related. It turned out to not be fuel related at all. It was one damn spark plug. And it was weird because I got neighbors that like to use a foghorn on their trucks. If you hear that, we have some people across from us that are just peachy. Anyhow, the car ran perfectly fine at low throttle. See, now if I tried to go up a hill or pass somebody or pick up speed in a fast manner, it would start to chug like it was out of gas. So I'm thinking, maybe the fuel pump's starting to go out. It works at some throttle positions, but not others. Maybe it's a fuel pump. And nope, they did diagnostics for 4 hours, but they eventually found the culprit. One spark plug, I have a little 4-banger. One spark plug had a factory default, or a defect rather. And they told me, like, the mechanic said, I've been a mechanic for over 20 years, and I have never seen a spark plug do this. Can I keep it? Can I keep this and use it as a teaching tool for my apprentices? I'm like, it means nothing to me. Keep it, man. And so he kept it, but he explained that there was a factory defect. He called it a lightning strike. It didn't crack, it didn't break, but the porcelain part of the spark plug that sticks out of the engine had a little soot mark, like it got struck by lightning. And I said that it's a 1 in a billion with a B, not M. Not he said it is a 1 in a billion chance this would happen. I'm like, well, with my luck with cars, my life, it would happen to us. So got that fixed, made it home to Virginia, and we're back. We didn't get sick. We did not get sick. I will tell you one thing we did different. I highly recommend this if you're prone to getting sick by heavy amounts of travel or being in large crowds. Arnold Classic has people from all over the globe for 3 days. We loaded up on a small, very inexpensive medication called Zicam. It's a zinc-based medication. It's a little tube, and you crack it open, and you pull out this Q-tip soaked in this solution, and you put it in your nostrils. And we did that just the week leading up to the Arnold, including while we were there. And lo and behold, we did not get sick, not even like an inkling of being sick. So we got right back to training, and it's been going well ever since. So if you're on Patreon or YouTube members, which if you want to sign up for that, it's Kolbstrong, and it's only $10 a month to watch everything I do in the gym, all the training, all the behind the scenes stuff, all the behind the scenes is how I like to advertise it. If you want to subscribe to that, that'd be awesome. I've got a lot of members in there, and I've had a very, very nice group of people that are consistently supporting us. So again, that's Kolbstrong on Patreon, or if you don't want to download Patreon, you can go on to YouTube members. Same price, $10 a month. We got Brad on here. He says, "What goes? Good meeting you at the Arnold. Sorry to hear about the whip. At least it was a simple fix." Must be talking about the car. Yeah, it was a very simple fix. It kind of irritated me how simple of a fix it was. But at least we didn't have to spend $1,000 or multiple thousands of dollars. I mean, if it wasn't a fuel pump, I was like, oh man, that GDI system with that high pressure GDI fuel pump that powers the GDI system in the engine probably went, or a line or something, to be thousands of dollars and tons of labor hours. No, just one spark plug. So that was good news. Anyway, we're back to training, and things have been going pretty well. I got a new piece to break in from Rob Farrell. It is a multi-layered F8, and it is probably the most extreme shirt he's ever made for me. Very, very gracious for him and Tiff doing that for me. I know he had some trouble making this thing, and he stuck it out, and it turned out to be pretty cool. It's going to take some breaking in. Again, if you want to follow me on that journey, follow me on that process, all that footage, all those details are on Patreon YouTube members. I'll go ahead and start taking questions if you have any for me. Until I get any, I will just continue to talk. But if I have good questions, if you just drop them here in the chat box, I will get to you here very soon. So yeah, what do we got going on? So April, next month, in about 4 short weeks, actually, we're going to be up in Ohio again. And luckily, we're leaving on the 7th. And Ohio is one of those prime areas on the 8th for the solar eclipse. Now, I believe this is the last solar eclipse that will be hitting the United States for the next, please don't quote me, fact check me if you need to, like 50 years or 60, like something nuts. Like it's not going to happen again for a while. And we just so happen to live, or we're from the area where that shadow is going to be cast the most. So we will have, and it was cool because when we were home before the Arnold, we went into a Staples, and at the checkout counter they had cool little glasses. You can buy their protective glasses for the solar eclipse, because it's like a big deal that it's actually going to pass through and cover most of Ohio. So we're going to leave on the 7th, witness the solar eclipse on the 8th, and then we have the Cincinnati. We have the women's pro-am in Cincinnati that we're going to be at. So if you're at the women's pro-am, me and Katie will be there with a booth, and we'll be there. I think it's 2 days, and she's going to have upwards of she's got 170 competitors, and like 2,000 people or more are expected to be there and attend. And wow, it's going to be a big event. Her events sell out so quick, probably because she's so cool, and the reputation she has. So Mike says, I live right in the path of the eclipse. I got my glasses about a month ago. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, Virginia is not too far from, it's gonna pass right over top of us. We're not gonna see it, so we have to go to Ohio. And going home and having a trip home is not is very lovely for us. So we will oblige, go home, visit family, and witness the eclipse. I've never seen one before. There was a partial one that was here. You could kind of see it in Virginia back in 2019 or 18, 17, and 18, whatever. And I didn't quite get to see. It was a partial. You couldn't see the whole thing, but this is gonna be a full blown actual full eclipse, and we're gonna see it up in Ohio. That's pretty cool. James, great to meet you. Great to meet you as well, James. Guy says, great to meet you at the Arnold Classic. Another one off my list. What a great time and great lifting. Well, thank you very much. Good to meet you, of course. Yep, had a great time. I love going to the Arnold, man. It's always a blast. I love going there. Got to meet so many people, and just seeing the interactions, and making business, and just it's a great time, of course. Jeff Johnson, hey, what's going on, man? He says, I've been focusing on my equipped lifting, and I am seeing great gains as I train with you. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Been doing my raw work the other day. I feel that is lagging slightly. Is that usual? Yes. If you start to focus more on equipped, because you want to bench equipped, you want to compete equipped, you have to specialize in equipped. Sport specificity. Yes, unless you pay close attention to your raw and specifically try to build it, it may go down. It may suffer. So you need either a healthy balance of both, or to say I don't give a shit what people think about raw and I don't care about raw and just do that. It just really depends on what you want to do competitively. Paul Offer says, "Hey brother, how are you? I'm doing pretty good. Glad to be back on here. It's been like 4 weeks or longer since I've done a benching and bullshitting episode, so I'm really happy to be back on here and share some experiences and answer questions. Of course, that's one of the most important reasons why I do this. We also dropped some new T-shirt designs. I am wearing one right here. This is actually our favorite one. This is one of my slogans. One of our slogans is "Never Enough," and Katie designed this last night. So we offer different colors. Of course, we're going to have the never and the camera mirrors me. It's like if I feel like I have to point over here. The never and enough and the KSP right here are going to be the color options. So you can have, this will always be white, but the never and then the KSP will be, we offer green, pink, silver, or gray rather, yellow and red.
No, it's silver.
Silver? Okay. So it is silver. But we have this design. We have two more. I just posted on my Instagram stories. And of course, if you're in Patreon, YouTube members, there's also a post about these new t-shirt designs. If you are a member of YouTube members or Patreon, there is a discount code in that announcement you can use to get a discount on the new t-shirt designs. So that's our favorite one so far. I think it's good. We already got like 3 or 4 orders just tonight. We just put them up 3 or 4 hours ago. Thomas says, not a question, but another IPF fail whale story. Oh my goodness. Meet is 12 to 13 days out, official day and or time still not made public. Absolute disaster. Well, that's a problem. That's a bit of an issue. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Very sorry. David says, when's your next competition? Well, I signed up for Rob's gig on July 20th. Now, that was an interesting one because it's your 3 attempts. Your first attempt is single ply poly. Your second attempt is multiply poly, and then your third attempt is unlimited. So it's a combined total idea again. But you have to specialize. You have to do poly on first 2 attempts, single ply, multiply, and then you do unlimited on the third. It is by coefficient, which means I'm at a disadvantage because I'm heavy. But so I have to start peppering in poly work here and there between now and July because I haven't benched a poly in 3.5 years. I wasn't the type where I did both at the same time. Once I went into the unlimited category, I've just been doing that. Only that this entire time. So it's going to be a bitch and a half to get back and be proficient at poly benching once again. So with that, that's the next surefire competition I'm doing. It's up in Clarion, Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure I said that right. And if I don't actually compete in it, I will absolutely be judging it for him. Being an IPA judge, I will be there regardless. I am 99% sure I'm going to do it. I just have to make sure I can make poly work again because I haven't done it in so damn long. It's going to be very painful, David. Yes, that's going to be very painful. I pulled out my poly shirts from the closet and dusted off the cobwebs and had to throw them in the washer and all those good things. But no, so I outgrew almost all the ones I have. So what I did was I took a football, and you kind of ruin the football when you do this. So just plan on it not using it for what it's intended after you use it to inflate the sleeves of your shirt. So I will soak the shirts down in hot water, or the sleeves rather, deflate the football. Keep the key with this thing is when you deflate the football, stick it in the sleeve and you pump up the football to expand your sleeves. I leave the pump and the needle in the football. What I've done before, I'll pump up the football, I'll take out the needle and the pump, and then go to stick the needle back in when it's time to deflate it or whatever. You are putting that football under stresses that it's not designed for. It's designed to be a football. It's not designed to be half inflated, half not, stuck in your damn polyester sleeve. So what I've found is when I take the needle out, it actually allows the valve on the inside of the ball to actually fall in, and then you can't deflate it or pump it back up. So what I do is once the needle goes in the ball, it stays there. I do not remove it. If I don't want the air to come rushing out, all I do is I pump it up and I leave the pump screwed onto the needle. When it's time to deflate it, I unscrew the pump, air rushes out, I squeeze the rest out myself. So yeah, that's how you do it. Because as soon as that needle comes out, you will not be able to find that valve. It falls in, it disconnect, it comes apart, whatever the fuck. Because you're doing something to the football it's not designed to do. But I've done that to like 4 poly shirts out there, all of them single ply except for 1 or 2 are multiply. Yeah, so half of them. That was a dumb thing to say, but so I outgrew all of them. I tried a couple on late last year, and it was not going to happen. Thomas says, does the IPA also offer raw meats or only equipped? Because this might have a follow-up question. People compete raw. Yeah, they do. I watched, I was actually one of the side judges for Phil Herndon's first 1,000-pound raw squat. They do offer raw. It's when you go into equipped, where I know last year they changed the rule to where if you were equipped, they were going to say you were unlimited no matter what. They weren't differentiating between unlimited and poly anymore. I think they changed that back. But yeah, for raw, it's just, yeah, they do offer that. Absolutely. I think it's just wrapped. I don't think they have like the sleeve division and the wrap division. I think it's all just raw. Jeff Johnson says, I keep touching too high. Any tips to remind myself not to be an idiot? And hit my touch point correctly. I always remind myself pre-lift, and then I have a brain fart mid-lift. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to think logically under max loads. So it's easier to practice this thing when you are. So I think what you need to make it a habit to where you don't have to think about it. So when you're doing your raw warm-ups or your gear deficient warm-ups, if you're in a slinger or a insert, think about it and always bench the same way every single time. That way, when you do get up into the heavy weights, and logical thinking is kind of hard to do, it'll just be like a force of habit, and you won't have to think that much. So just always practice from the empty bar to your raw sets, to your gear deficient sets, to your shirted warm-ups, your board work. Try to bench the same way every single time and find that groove. That way you don't have to think about it. But yeah, so everything else is going pretty good with me, though. Besides that July meet, I did get invited to the big one, the Pro Cup. I think it's, Pro Cup over in Kentucky. It's on the western side of Kentucky, the furthest away from us. That's August 3rd. So I think that turnaround time would be too quick for me. So I don't know. I did get an invite. He did open some spots up for bench only. I almost want to just accept, and then if I can or cannot go, I'd obviously say, hey, I can't make it. But just to kind of reserve a spot. That might be a kind of a cool meet to go to. Apparently, they're renting out like an entire freaking stadium for this thing, with concessions and all the things that come with the stadium are going to all be open to the lifters and the crowds. Might be kind of cool. I don't know. I think it's SPF. I've never competed SPF. So I don't know much about it. I don't know the meet director. I don't know what kind of equipment they're going to have. Obviously, it comes down to things like barbells, plates, benches with body savers. That's an absolute requirement for me. What kind of pad you're going to have. I don't want to be so nitpicky, but when you're lifting those kind of poundages, you have to have these boxes, and every box has to have a check mark in it, with a description next to it. So I have to get all these boxes check marked for me to show up and do a competition these days. So I'm thinking about that one. If not, I'll get through Rob's meet, and then I'll either take a break and then train for 3 more months and plug a meet in the early fall. I'm not sure. I need time to just train and get back to where I was. I'm still not quite there. But now that I have this new piece from Rob, I should be back up to the really, really heavy weights in due time once this piece gets broken in. Let's see. Thomas. Well, since you're also an IPA judge, that may be above your pay grade. But what would I need? Who would I need to talk to launch an IPA affiliate option for my country and for judges? That way we can host actual IPA here.
That's Tiny Meeker. He's the international chairman.
There you go. So talk to Tiny Meeker. Paul Tiny Meeker in Humboldt, Texas, down near Houston. Talk to him. He's the international judge, international affiliate. He can help you. I can't. I don't know anything about that. My first option was to say talk to Fred Fisher, but she just reminded me that Tiny Meeker is the international affiliate, so please talk to him. Let's see. John says, new here. How old of a fellow are you and where are you from? I am 33 and I'm from the U.S. Don't mind me while I hydrate. Oh. So, and Thomas says, thank you, Mrs. Cole.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And he's pretty quick to get back to people. So if you have questions for him, he will answer very quickly. I don't see why it would be a problem. I really don't see why it would be a problem to expand the IPA outside. I mean, I'm sure. I think.
I mean, there's probably a lot of like regulations and stuff.
Well, there probably is. It's above my pay grade. I don't know any of that stuff. But I'm sure there's a process to it. I'm sure, you have to do certain things, but I just don't. I don't know what entails that. So, but yeah, man. So, like I said, things are great. I was talking to my buddy Dino today. I asked him if he had tools, if he could show me tomorrow, specifically tomorrow, because after tomorrow, him and his girlfriend Judy are leaving for Texas for a little while.
But they're already in Texas.
They leave Wednesday, I think. So he'll be in tomorrow. I need him to show me how to take a barbell apart, because I have one of the sleeves on one of the barbells that I use, I think has little to no lubrication left in it. I think it all drained out. I had the bar sitting vertically, and a lot of the oil came out onto the shaft of this inside of the bar. So we got to take the sleeve completely off. He knows how to do it. He's got the tools, and he's going to show me how to do it. And then we're going to re-oil the inside of the collar to make sure. What happens is when you have enough weight on a collar that's not properly oiled on the inside, the collar doesn't want to rotate as one. It'll stay in place. Like I can rotate the plates before the collar will spin. That's not good, especially under heavy load. You can feel that. We take a heavy weight out, and you can feel the car kind of like, it'll make a noise. I can feel it, really like that. So the collar needs to be able to spin freely no matter how much weight is on there. So we definitely got to take that bar apart and oil it. So I know you have to get some kind of vice grippy clamp thing. There's like a C-clip on the end of every barbell. You have to squeeze it and it pops out. I think one bolt and the whole collar can come off. I've never done it before. He has. So hopefully we can get that done tomorrow. But things are pretty normal now. I'm trying to get my diet kind of regulated, get back to, like I said, I'm trying to get back to where I was, 7 or 8, 9 months ago. Man, last year, May, I got the timing wrong when I competed last year. When I did the 1,400 pounds in July, I committed to the meet in like February. So I knew after the Arnold, it was time to train for this meet in July, which meant I trained for 5 months at these extremely heavy maximum loads. And what happened was I started to go backwards. After the 3-month mark passed, I had reached a high point. And then after that, for the next 2 months leading up to the meet, I started to go down because I trained for too long. So 3-month intervals is the way to go, the secret. So I have to, I'm gonna talk about that here in a minute. So I have to train for 3 months, see where I can get myself. That's kind of what I have to do as far as when I'm going to compete. I know I'm doing Rob's meet, but when it comes to the next heavy weight, the next 14 plus weight in competition, I have to train for 3 months, pick out potential competitions where I could go and hit a big number. Or if I'm at the end of the 3 months and I feel like I'm at a high point and there's no meets that are reasonable, I'll be like, okay, take a 2 weeks off. I'll start back over 3 months and then try to plug a meet in at the end and do the same thing. If I could have competed last May at the middle or right at the end of that 3-month interval, I could have benched 1450. God damn, I was so fucking strong right then. End of May, beginning of June, I was very, 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 very strong. Wish I could have. It's like I didn't know because okay, if I got done with the Arnold, this is kind of my mindset. I was done with the Arnold. I did end up getting really fucking under the weather. I didn't train for 2 weeks. So we're talking about right at the middle or towards the end of March, I started training. I'm like, oh shit, I only have 5 months. So I went hardcore end to end for 5 months. In my now that my adult brain is thinking, I could have been like, okay, it's the end of July, so end of June, end of May. I could wait till end of April before I start really ramping training back up. But I didn't want to like call it close and like I don't know. It's just the way it worked. The way my brain works. I trained that way. I got the lift. It was a little ugly, but I could have done it in a much more smooth manner and probably not been in so much damn pain when I did it. So it's going to be really difficult to line that up. It's all about finding meets that are, again, reasonable, like within when I think reasonable, I think between 5 to 6 hours drive time. Maybe that's a little bit undercut for some people or way too much. If it's under 5 hours, if it's under 6 hours, I'm a happy camper. If it's going to be like 7, 8, 9 hour drive, I'm kind of like, oh fuck, probably not the best one to do. So all things considered, again, it's just going to be 3 months, find a meet. If it's reasonable, go compete. If not, skip it, rest for 2 weeks, and then start the whole process back over. So anyhow, if we have any more questions, feel free to drop them in. If you have not hit the like button yet, please do that. That really helps me and tells me that you enjoy these lives and lets me know that I can keep doing them with you guys. So please hit the like button, subscribe as well. I wanted to tell you all really quick, I am currently working on, I am very close to having the band shirt program for my website completed. This is the band shirt program. I have programs on my website, kolbstrong.com, where you can buy. They're pre-written. There's the K950. There's the lockout assist. Those are the things I did. Like I took the exact training that I did to bench 950, the exact training that I did to bench 1120, the single ply program. So this band shirt program is a pre-written one that you can buy off the website, just like the other ones, is the exact training I did leading up to this 1,400-pound bench. It's the 12 weeks prior. It's exactly 12 weeks, 24 workouts before I hit 1,400 pounds. So if you're interested in that, it's not quite done yet. We will make an announcement on Instagram, on YouTube members, on Patreon that it is up and available for purchase. Again, it's an extreme program. It's what I did 12 weeks prior. I trained longer for 12 weeks, but I didn't want to write out a 24-week, 48-day program or anything. So I chose the 12 weeks that led up to, like, including the weekend before my 1,400-pound bench. That will be up hopefully in the next few days, this week for sure. I think I'm 9 workouts in, and I have 3 more to type up, or 4 more to type up. I did 8, so I got 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 4 more weeks to type up. That will be good to go. Jeff Johnson says, do the new shirts you sell run small? Should I order a size up? I think they run pretty how they're supposed to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wear a 3X, and this is a 3X, and it fits me perfectly. So, nope, I think you're fine. If you order a 4X, if you wear a 4X, order a 4X. If you wear a 3X, order a 3X. I think we've gotten pretty lucky with the brand that we go with.
And they're not like the super stretchy, suck to your skin.
Yeah, I don't like that material. The material like Bella Canvas. Oh my God, I hate those shirts. Those silky smooth. They like hug your skin, and it's no. This is just like a cotton polyester blend. This is what I like to wear. It's not really form fitting. It's just a nice t-shirt. Thomas says, in hindsight, you could have also tried like 8 weeks harder, 2 weeks lighter, 6 weeks harder, 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about that? Also 20 weeks, 5 months. Okay, 20 weeks. Whew, yeah, 20 weeks. No, I don't know. Because here's the thing, like in the past, when I was training to bench 9, 1,000, 1,100, 1,120. All the weights were pretty relative. I wasn't going above and beyond super, super, super heavy. I trained heavy year round for almost my entire career. Now, when I got into the limited category and the weights started to be on the regular, 12, 13, 1350, 1400, 1450, 1463. When that became the normal weights and the normal weight range, I no longer could train year round. So it's kind of like a hard lesson learned for me. So I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure it out, man. So that's an interesting idea. 8 and 2 and 6 and 2. And yeah, there's lots of things I could do. But what I have found with the band shirts, with these extraordinarily heavy loads, I can train for about 3 months of consistent, super heavy work and come out at the end really strong, very adapted to these heavy loads and hit big, 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 big numbers. But after 3 months is when I start to actually digress and go down. I've never tried a mix where you do like, what would you say, 8 on and 2 off, and then 6 on and 2. I've never done that before. It could potentially work. I've never done it. I'm still in a learning process as we speak. David Harrington, what's going on? I'm glad to have you on here. David Harrington, my buddy, he now lives up in the Detroit area. So happy to have you on here, David. Good to see you. Good to talk to you. Not see you, but you know what I mean. Thomas says, I know that reminds me of Eddie Hall's deadlift story. He could never get past 460 kilos or 1,020 pounds deadlifting weekly. When he did it, 1 week heavy, 1 week speed work, etc., he did get the 1,100-pound deadlift. Yeah, it's the loads are just so damn heavy now. Where I mean, so I still have to change things up too. Like I had a really good success. Now I had good success, but it also fucked me up. Let me explain. I had really good success. I came up with a plan. I think it was after I bombed in York. First time ever attempting 1,400 pounds on the platform was in York at the Barbell Hall of Fame, November of 22. Because I have to keep my years straight. Now it's 2024. So November of 22, I bombed out with 1,400 pounds. That was a learning process of it's as well, because we used 100-pound plates, we used stiff bars. My handoff crew actually had to grab the collars. There was no bar left. Like, talk about being in a precarious situation. Anyhow, why am I telling you this? Learning curve, 1,400. I totally lost my frame of mind where I was going with that.
You guys were talking about Eddie Hall.
Yeah, Eddie Hall and going blah blah blah.
And like all the things that you have to learn. You're gonna talk about how like everything, like you can't use pound plates and you can't.
No, I had a different direction I was going with that, but I can't remember what it was now. I was getting into something. It was about,
Maybe all that benching has fried some brain cells.
I know it has, but I've popped gaskets and I can't keep my. Anyway, I've totally lost my frame of thought.
If you guys have a guess, maybe let him know.
Man. Oh, the training cycle. I learned. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. After I bombed, November of 22. Okay, I got it. So anyway, well, I decided like, okay, I need to train differently. I need to have some kind of repeating cycle in a wave, so to speak, almost in a conjugate, kind of a pendulum wave style training, not speed work, not dynamic, not the force equals mass times, etc. No, none of that crap. Just a different way of training on a repeating cycle. So what I did was, I decided, okay, 4-week rotation. The first week, I will be in a single ply band shirt piece. The weights will be lighter and the volume will be higher. Less equipment, less protection, higher reps, lower weight. Second week, I will wear a 2-ply band shirt. Increase the weight a bit to go down on the boards, decrease the reps to triples. By the third week, I will be in a triple ply piece. Same concept, going down in reps, lower boards, higher weight. And on the 4th week, I will be in my competitive, biggest, thickest shirt that I have, handle the heaviest loads, hit maximum singles, one board, half board, what have you. Probably take 1 week off, like a deload week, come back on the 6th week. So that's 4 weeks on, 1 week deload. Come back on the 6th week to repeat this 4-week cycle. And holy shit, did I get a huge response from my body out of that, because every week was different. I was in a different piece. Different pieces feel different. That's different stimulus on the body. You're tricking your body. Whoa, you're in this piece now. It behaves like this. It feels like this. It's this size. It's that size. It's this many layers. It's that. That's a change of stimulus. And every time I repeated this cycle, I hit PRs every single week from the previous week. Like single ply to single ply, double to double, triple to triple. I was hitting PRs weekly all over again. But the problem was I found that because I was only in my competitive shirt once every 5 or 6 weeks, that became a problem. This was great for building. I was handling heavier loads with less and less equipment and more reps and whatever. But competitively, I was suffering because I was not in my competitive piece often enough to remember how to use it, so if that makes sense. I think if you have a competitive piece and you have a competition coming up, that should be the piece you're in almost all the time exclusively, because you have to master that piece you're going to perform with on the platform. So then I quickly abandoned that. I did that for about 2 or 3 cycles. I got back into my competitive shirt, and then lo and behold, February of 23, so what was that, 3 months post bomb out in November, I benched 1350. The first actual, no shit, 600 kilogram lift ever done in powerlifting history. 1320, the 1320 that I did at the beginning of 22 was in fact 599.98 kilos. My calculator failed me, so I did not bench the first or lift the first 600 kilogram lift until 1 year later, February of 23, 1350, 612.5 kilograms. So I just have to fit. It's this, again, I'm learning process. So I'm always learning shit. We got Tony on here. Tony, what's going on? I missed Thomas's comment. He said, Brian Carroll, 1306 squat. Yes, that is accurate. Also advocates for deload every 3rd week, regardless of athlete level. So I'm just throwing it up there. A couple ideas. Thank you, Thomas, very much for the ideas. Let's see. Tony says, I've been forced to do the rotating workout routine, volume, more weight, less weight, 5x5, etc. Yes. Yes.
Are you good on drink?
I've got many a drink, yes. Thank you. Let's see. Alexander Amond is on here tonight. What's going on? Gene trained in 6-week cycles, bands for 6 weeks, chains for 6 weeks, straight weight for 6 weeks. Oh, okay. Interesting. Another way to do it. I would absolutely try the chain idea. I don't think I would be all for the band idea, but that's so 6, 6, and 6, which is 18 weeks. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. Tony says, my body's getting too old to lift heavy plus volume each week. Recovery, I have to pay attention to. Okay, makes sense.
Isn't Tony's the same age as you?
No. This is not.
This isn't Carlino?
No.
Oh, I was like, Tony? No way. I thought you were talking about Carlino.
Different Tony.
I was like, that's literally the same age.
He's on my, Tony Russell Hughes or Hewis. He's on my live every week.
Oh, gotcha.
Rodney says, hi, Timmy. It's Rodney. Thank you for your message today. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Martinez, what's going on? By chance, have you tried the Cerberus Ultra Wrist Wraps? I have not. We are very, very extremely hyper loyal to the Anderson Powerlifting brand. So all I use are the KLA line of wraps. I'll actually put those right here for you guys just to make sure I didn't, if you don't understand what I'm saying, KLA, Kilo Lima Alpha Bravo, whatever. 5. My brain is doing that thing again. So
you didn't have a nap today, so
yeah, KLA 5000s. Those are the wraps that I use. 36-inch all black KLA 5000s are the wraps I highly recommend if you're into heavy benching. No, Cerberus, I do know. I just learned that they're actually a UK company, which is interesting. I thought they were US based. Nope. We use all Anderson Powerlifting. We bleed green. So I'm very happy with. I hope you, if you want to try them, by all means, I mean, try them out. Let me know what you think.
Also, Anderson is having their spring sale.
Yep.
15% off everything, including F8 shirts right now.
Is there a code for that?
Spring 15.
Okay, so if you go to AndersonPowerlifting.com and you use this code right here, I can't spell, SPRIN, spring 15. That's SPRING 15, spring 15 at AndersonPowerlifting.com this entire week till next Monday.
The 25th, March 25th. It cuts off.
March 25th, the entire week from this Monday to next Monday. Spring 15 is 15% off the entire store, including F8 shirts, F8 products, Widowmakers, and the F8 shirts. We have single, double, and triple ply shirts at AndersonPowerlifting.com.
Yeah, so your code normally gets them 10%.
Yes.
But they can add an additional 5% on top
this week. So. Don't use my code this week, Kolbstrong 10, or just Kolbstrong, I'm sorry. Don't use my code Kolbstrong. Use spring 15 this week. You will get 15% off, not just 10 for the entire week, Monday to Monday.
And there's a ton of F8 shirts in stock right now. So if you're looking for an F8,
yep,
I would get it there.
Yep. Alex says Sabrina and I both use the KLA 5000s.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. They will not let you down. I guarantee those wraps up to 1,401 pounds. Let's see. Jeff Johnson. So in your opinion, if I just want to hammer my equip like I am, should I get rid of my raw benching altogether and on my secondary being a slinger of some sort? That's kind of what I do, or what I did when I was really getting up to the heaviest loads possible. Currently, I've been doing more of a I don't look like it, but I'm trying to do more of a bodybuilding day where I'm actually trying to build mass and pecs and everything. So a lot of it has been raw, but like very, very, very heavily pec dominant style raw. Just because I have different goals in mind that I wanted to do right now. I always tell people, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be the best you could be equipped? Do you want to be the best you could be raw? Do you have any interest in training raw or competing raw at any point in your life? Do you want to do it? I mean, if you're getting older, if you're whatever, just depends on what you want to do, man. I think raw still has a place in training, especially for equipped guys, but more on the hypertrophy end, bodybuilding style, 8 to 10, 5x5, sets of 12 to 15, things like that. Becoming physically bigger and stronger. But taking your easy numbers, taking your 300-pound raw bench to 350, will have a little bit of carryover to your shirted work, a little bit, as opposed to, like, that's what I tell people. Like, I mean, instead of doing raw bench, 400 or 500, 600 or more, why not? I'd rather be doing 4 presses with equipment and the 1,000 pounds for reps. That's what's going to have the carryover for me. So it really just depends. I mean, if you want to continue to get bigger and stronger, I mean, I think raw has a good thing. Do a lot of incline bench, dumbbell work, floor dumbbell work, things like that. Decline, train like a bodybuilder. But if it's hurting you, if it's kind of bringing your numbers down, then don't do it no more. I mean, just do light work, or when you're at that secondary day, wear a piece, even if it's a big piece. An oversized Widowmaker or an oversized insert, or a single ply insert, whatever, just to add a little bit of protection so you can continue to work and do your variations, your close grip, your reverse grip, your board work, your floor press, your cambered bar work, your whatever, in equipment. That way you're protected and you can handle more weight. Let's see. Oh, cues. Tony Russell cues, as in pull cues. Got it.
Oh, was it with a Q?
Yeah, it's CUES.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I build custom pull cues. So it's Tony Russell cues. Okay. Tony also says the KLA 5000s are the schniz. Love them. Best I've used, and I've used a few in 39 years. Thank you. Appreciate that.
We just realized this year is going to be 20 years for you. We were just talking about that. That's crazy.
May of this year will mark 20 years that I've been lifting weights, 15 years that I've been competing. So that's exciting. Very exciting. Or maybe it's 16. Might be 16 years. Yeah. My first 4 years were it was 14 to 18. Started competing at 18. Though those were non-sanctioned, but even such, it was still competing. So I guess it's 20 and 16 for me.
Did you start literally as soon as you turned 14?
Yep. I turned 14 in May of 2004, and that's when I started lifting weights. Was that summer? That's when I was allowed to start lifting weights. Let's see. Thomas says, for pecs, I recommend low incline 10 to 15 degree dumbbell press in a neutral reverse grip bench press style grip, but just the handle in your hands. Everyone I let try this is way under tempo paused, loves and hates them. If you have a video, if you can demonstrate that to me, Thomas, if you want to Instagram message me that exact setup, that'd be great. I'm kind of thinking, I know the dumbbell press in the neutral grip, but just the handle in your hands. So give me if you got a video or a demonstration, go ahead and Instagram message that to me so I can see exactly what you're doing. Rodney says, I've been trained straight bodybuilding and doing 6x6 and reverse grip 6x6 and help me get back to competing. I'll look for the KLA 5000s. Thank you. You're welcome very much. Well, hello. Yes, you're screaming.
You have a co-host.
That's fantastic. Okay. Hi. So yeah, again, spring 15 this week. Good time to get your KLA 5000. Good time to get yourself an F8 bench shirt or a Widowmaker with 15% off. If you miss the 1 week window for 15% off, you can also use my code Kolbstrong any other week of the year for 10% off your entire order, minus the F8 Customs Sportcraft bench bar. I was going to give that a little side note, that little asterisk. It does not work on the F8 Sportcraft bench bar. It does not work on that. Jeff Johnson, I'm 40 now, staying equipped. Glad to switch over. No looking back. 1,000 or bust someday. Okay. You have to train specifically for that. Train slow. Don't be in a hurry to get there. If you're in the 700s, conquer 750, conquer 775, 780, 800. I went 800, 810, 815, 820, 825, 830. I skipped. I went to 840, 848. I'm pretty sure after 848.
Why 848 and not 850?
It was kilos.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure after 848, I didn't do anything. I think I had an 850 flat. That was pounds at one of the IPA meets that Lexington Extreme held.
Back in the day.
Way back. Now, I think after 850, there was no middle mark. I think I went straight from 850 to 903. Pretty sure, but
yes.
Relative. I did not hit like an 860, 865, 870, 880. No, it was 850, and I went right to 903. So, but enjoy those little steps, those little wins. Have 1,000 be that mountain you're trying to climb, but one step at a time. Don't try and take leaps and bounds and slip and fall, that cause an avalanche to come down on you. Take small, and those avalanches like injuries. So, take small jumps, small steps, take your time, and you will be nice and healthy and strong, and your bones will be intact by the time you get to 1,000 pounds. So enjoy the little jumps. People tend to forget that. They want to go straight from 600 to 1,000 pounds. It's like, dude, it's not that easy, I know the equipment has become fairly advanced, but like, you can't just go straight from 600 to 1,000 pounds. You have to conquer 620, 650, 675, 7 plates. That's a big number. 700, 705. There's so many steps before 1,000. Enjoy all those steps. Miss, she's going to fuck up those shirts. Thank you. My jacket, too, if you don't mind. I'm wondering.
You're a menace.
Okay. What we got here? Oh, I see. Yeah, with RGBP, you just cock your wrist back, but just keep it in your hands like a normal barbell instead of between your fingers. Got it. But I prefer to cock the wrists and wraps feel more bunchy. Okay, I got you. We got another one on here. SMC 6018 says, did my second ever meet last weekend. Both were unlimited bench only. Bombed out of the first one, went 4 at this one, which was a lot more fun. Yeah, that's a lot. It's not bombing out is quite the experience. It's quite fun to do it that way. Highly recommend. Great. Good for you, man. 4 for 4 means you probably went for a record, I bet you. Usually you get 3 attempts, but if you're going for a record, you can actually go for a 4th. So that's great. 4 for 4. Awesome. Good job. I know you didn't mention your numbers, though. Okay. Here are those bench numbers, man. I want to see what you did. That's awesome. Jeff Johnson, meet in 3 weeks looking to conquer 750 there. Great. Conquer 750. As long as, and I also tell people too, like the competition is not the time to experiment with new things or new numbers, So if you've only ever handled in the 7s and 750 in the gym, do not try to jump straight to 8 or 8 plus at the meet. You need time, you need adjustment, your bones need to adapt. So I really am rooting for you to get that 750 in 3 weeks. That is awesome. That is an awesome thing. Hey, miss. One more. I don't know if that's a printable shirt or not. It is. Okay. Oy. Our assistant is always not quite assisting us. She's
ruining things.
All right, here we go. Tony says, somewhere I have an original pair of gold line wraps. I'm that old. Holy shit, gold line wraps. Those are ancient. In a good way. Sorry. Yeah. That's awesome, though. That's great, man. Good. That is awesome. Gold line wraps. I didn't think. No, those are relics. Never give those away. Let's see. Dexter Bordeaux, he's on here. What's going on, man? Our friend from Boston. I try to tell that to people all the time that you can't go to meet and expect 110%. I mean, give 110%, but don't actually go 110% on the weights. we have longevity we got to worry about here. I'm so sick of seeing people break their forearms in half. I don't. It's so preventable. Just please, whatever you do, whatever your top goal is, if it's 1,000 or if it's 1,500 or I don't give a fuck, just take your time and enjoy the little victories getting to that point. Don't try to go from here to way over here. It's not a good thing to do. You have a new RPS record, 725 in the 242s. Great. I was in the 242s for a long time. Yeah, that was my home for a very, very long time. The 242s are very near and dear to me in my heart. So congrats, man. 725. That's awesome. Way to go. Very, very good. Sweet. Got another one down here. Karanavir says, I'm an only lifter, but appreciate equipped. Well, okay, that's great. I appreciate what you do. I appreciate all forms of strength. All forms of strength, kind of like the Russians. The Russians, they enjoy and appreciate and recognize all forms of strength. If it's a strength sport, they love it to death. Ollie lifting, powerlifting, both equipped and raw. Arm wrestling, oh boy, they're big on the arm wrestling. That's great. That's good to hear. Yeah, ollie lifting, of course. Yeah, that's awesome. I respect all forms of strength. So we're wrapping up here in about 8 or 9 minutes. We got about 8 or 9 minutes left in this 1 hour benching and bullshitting episode. I'll do a couple of plugs really quick. Of course, I've talked a lot about Patreon and YouTube members. All the behind the scenes work that I do, which is basically all my workouts. I record every single one of my workouts. If I happen to miss one, I make a video explaining what happened and I talk about the workout. But all my workouts go up on YouTube, members, and Patreon. If you want to become a member there, it's $10 a month. You get exclusive access to early access to videos. I put a lot of YouTube content up and I try to get them early access. So if I make a YouTube video, I put it on Patreon first. YouTube members, you can watch it before it gets released to the public. You also have exclusive things too. We do shirt releases like this one right here. This is one of our new designs, the Never Enough with the KSP down here. You can actually get the colors changed if you want the Never and the KSP to be, we have green. We're going to offer a green, red, silver, pink, and yellow. Now, that's going to be the same thing for all 3 designs. We have 3 new designs. If you're in there already, I'm sure you've seen the post talking about the new t-shirt designs. They're going to be on the website. Of course, they just got put up tonight. So, yeah, Patreon and YouTube members, again, $10 a month. If you want to see what I do behind the scenes that lead me to these big benches, the back training, the lower body training, the benching itself, the forearm training, it's all on there. So if you want to do that, that's great. If not, still appreciate you. We also have Anderson Powerlifting right here behind me. We're on a spring sale this entire week, Monday to Monday. So please use code SPRING15, all caps, SPRING15. for 15% off your entire order store wide. If you want your sleeves, if you want your F8 bench shirts or F8 Widowmakers, your KLA 5000 wrist wraps, or anything else you can think of, you need singlets, belts, ammonia, liquid chalk, block chalk, flags, apparel, which we make the apparel. So, hey, that's awesome. 15% off this entire week, of course. If you missed that mark, you can use my code Kolbstrong, one word, KOLBSTRONG, for 10% off your entire order. So what else we got? We got the Kolbstrong Scholarship Foundation. We just sent out the boxes and the $1,000 checks to our 4 athletes that we picked. Last year, we were extremely busy. We were all over the country. We were in 9 different states last year, multiple times too. Didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of fundraisers, raise a lot of money, but we were able to raise $4,000. So we picked 4 athletes through the Kolbstrong website, which is kolbstrongscholarship.com. There's a list of steps that these people take. They fill out the application, they get their reference letters, they send them into us, we review them, and the entire month of January. We pick the winners somewhere in February. Then we just sent out the checks and their little goodie boxes last week. So thank you for all who participated, of course. Thank you for those who believe in us, believe in the cause, of course. It's to help out the young generation of powerlifters. So
I'm also going to be working on new shirts for that.
New shirt designs for the Kolbstrong Scholarship, of course. That'll also drop early. We'll have access to them, of course. We'll make announcements on Instagram, YouTube, and also Patreon. So we got new designs coming out for that.
And all proceeds go to the scholarship.
Yeah, those shirts, the Kolbstrong Scholarship shirts, all of that money gets put into the Kolbstrong Scholarship account. That's not profit for us. That is an actual non-profit organization. How do you say it? 501?
501c3.
I never get it right. 501. It's a registered nonprofit 501c3. So all the money from Kolbstrong Scholarship T-shirts goes into that fund, and we do raise money the entire year up until December 31st. And again, we close it out. And if we raise $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, we raised $12,000 last year. Mm-hmm. Then we go through and we pick the number of athletes to match how many thousands of dollars we raised, and we pick them. And these young athletes between the ages of 13 and 23 get $1,000 checks from us to use on whatever they want. Gym dues, new equipment, travel expenses.
And this year was the first year that we had
new game console
outside of the U.S.
Yep, we had one athlete that we chose.
Two.
One in Canada and one in the UK. Yep. So that was great. So if you want to participate in that, we try to make announcements when we have like fundraisers coming up. AMRAP April is a pretty popular one that we do where we have people rep out weights in the bench press for reps. And we pick winners, based on who does the maximum number of reps. AMRAP April is a huge fundraiser we do that's online. You can just post your videos and tag us. And we pick winners, and the winner gets a small prize, usually male, female. I forget exactly how we do it, but
I think we normally split the pot. Like everybody buys a ticket to enter, and then we take the winners, and 5% of all the money gained gets given out as your prize.
There you go.
If we had, $100, then you get $5.
Okay. There you go. So AMRAP April should be coming up here in a few weeks. We just have to make sure we do it and announce it and make it happen, because we just get so damn busy with travel. Like I said, we were in 9, almost 10 different states just last year. Dallas, Texas, Vegas, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, West Virginia, Tennessee, what else? New Jersey, Maryland. We're all over the place. So very, very, very busy. So anyway, that's about the hour mark. I think we'll end it right here. It's been a great night talking to you all. We should be back on here on the normal every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for benching and bullshitting, talking about training, talking about competing, of course, answering as many questions as we possibly can, spreading as much knowledge as we can. If you need any more questions from me throughout the week, you can also reach me on Instagram at Kolbstrong, KOLBSTRONG, one word, Kolbstrong on Instagram. Best way to get in contact with me is through there. Just DM me, and I'll answer your questions there. If you want to send me videos, hey, you can look at this bench. Hey, this shirt isn't working right. What's going on with this shirt technique? Send me videos. I'll look at them for you, okay? So there you go. That is going to be it for tonight. Please enjoy the rest of your week. Have a strong start to your week. We will see you next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for benching and bullshitting. Everybody, stay strong.
job.